All right, here we are. It's the 2021 Haas, a livery that has blown many minds, split many opinions. So first of all, let's look at the Russian Haas. I really like it. I think it's really smart. I don't think I like it as much as the Alpine or the Alfa Romeo, but I still think they've done a phenomenal job. And particularly Brandon Sewell, because he's the man who was commissioned to design the livery. Shout out to Brandon. Go follow him on Twitter. Link in the top line description below. I think you did a great job. It feels like Haas have been embroiled in controversy for the last 2 years consistently, whether it's Rich Energy, whether it's Nikita Mazepin. And now with this, because of Nikita being Russian, he's not allowed to race under the Russian flag because of anti-doping stuff that covers at least 2021. I don't know the details, but the World Anti-Doping Agency have said no Russian athlete in any sport can compete under the Russian flag. They have to compete under a neutral flag. Now, obviously with this, because Nikita's dad, Dmitry Mazepin, who's a multi-billionaire, has obviously invested a lot of money into the team. They want to get the Russian flag on the car, and this has been their way around it. Look, when does a flag become not a flag? Yes, the colours of the Russian flag are there, but is it a rectangle flag? That wouldn't have been allowed if there was a rectangle Russian flag on there, but this isn't that. So is it still a flag? That's obviously a very subjective grey area, and that's not something I'm in the position to call. So yeah, the livery looks cool. That's it. Now, obviously, this is a big departure from the standard black, white, and red colours that Haas have gone for in the past. That's their standard brand colours. An American team adorned with a Russian flag. Bit ironic. So I asked on Twitter, with this redesign, what approach should I take? Should I keep it Russian? Should I go back to the original black, white, and red? Should I go full-on America? Or should I get a bit of German in there alongside the Russian? And look, you lot didn't help me out at all. You don't want it Russian, but other than that, it seems that no one knows what they want. So I've decided to go with the US of A, mate. We've never seen the Haas properly Americaned up, not properly. So I'm going full US of A, America, yeah, that's what we're doing. So let's get into a Assetto Corsa Content Manager, Racing Studios F1 2020 car model, and see what we can make. So as you can see, we are starting with a matte and glossy, so a little bit of a clue to what's coming, base coat. Now, why matte grey? Because you don't necessarily think of that as inherently American. Well, I love the US Air Force livery that you get in IndyCar and quite a few kind of American motorsports. That tends to have a greyed out, a matte grey, and it has like the shark mouth at the front. But I've just taken the matte grey as the base from this to build on. That's the thought process anyway. Let's make it full Yankee Doodle, shall we? Starting with the blue and the stars. So the front of this car is blue gloss with the stars on the front wing end plates and a little bit on the front wing. And then the back of the car is the red, white, bringing the red, white and blue together. So I've got full blue front, red, white back. I feel like if you've got an angle cutting through the car, it needs to be shallow. It needs to be less than 45 degrees. I'm looking at you, Williams. We will get onto the Williams in the next video. But anyway, this is the Haas. So that is the base. Now let's add some logos. Here she is, my American beauty. I am very happy with how this is looking. It's a complete departure, of course, from what they've actually done. But for me, this slaps. I'm very happy with this. Starting at the front wing, so we've got the Haas logo in red to offset the kind of blue, so it stands out a bit more. Haas on the end plates works really nicely in that, I think. Got a few logos on here. I've added there's some logos that aren't on the car that are partners of Haas, so Stitch, for example, Schubert, Under Armour and Mick Schumacher sponsors, so I've incorporated them as well. They've not got many sponsors, Haas, and obviously I've dropped Uralkali because this is alternative universe where Haas are just full on USA. This is what could have been, okay? Obviously number 47 for Mick, you come to the side, we've got Haas, big logo on the side. I really like the Haas logo. I think this is one of the sharpest logos in Formula One for sure. And then the Haas CNC stuff up top. Again, you've got the Haas red on the nose, and then you've got the 1&1, which is one of their only big sponsors outside of Uralkali, bringing the blue on the rear wing. That is their actual brand colour, so that works a treat. And then you come around to the back, Haas on the back. And again, the Haas logo itself is glossy, and then the grey surrounding it is matte. I am really happy with how this is looking. I love a good colour block. Colour blocking looks great on trainers, sneakers, whatever you want to call them, and we don't see it enough on Formula One cars. Now, as for changing up the colours, what should we... If I do a white, let's see how that looks. Okay, we lose a couple of the logos, but that's not the end of the world. I mean, that's also quite cool. I definitely do prefer the grey, though, not going to lie. Full black. Again, I do prefer the grey, but this also works quite nice. How about extending the red? That also looks alright. Obviously, I'd need to change the matte, I think, but that looks pretty cool. Back to standard. Standard, the grey works an absolute treat for me. I'm really happy with how this is looking. So yeah, that's my take on the 2021 Haas. Again, as always, images on screen now comparing the two side by side. The Russian route or the American route, which do you prefer? Again, I think Brandon did a phenomenal job with the brief set to him. This is if they decided to bin off the Russian connection and just go full US of A, which I think this would look so sick on the grid. So sick. Unfortunately, I do kind of agree with a lot of the sentiment that's been shared online, which is that this year's probably the last year we're going to see Haas in Formula One. I can't imagine Gene Haas is going to hold on to this PR nightmare of a team for much longer. And you've got, Dmitry Mazepin, who's clearly very prepared to put his money into Formula One. So I reckon this is just a kind of transition period into a fully Russian team, which it's a shame. Haas, they started really promisingly when they came into Formula One. There's been some great moments for Kev and Roman over those times, and I just can't see him sticking around. But anyway, that's my take. Next is Williams. I'm not saying anything about the Williams until we get into that video. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate all the support on these videos. Been a pleasure, as always. I love making these. So thanks again. Quickly, also make sure you press the like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. All right, my name's Tommo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.